The Brumby government's main boast this election campaign is its management of the economy. In a moment, the Treasurer John Lenders goes head-to-head with the man who wants his job, the Coalition's Treasury spokesman Kim Wells. But first, Cheryl Hall with this preview.
Here we go.
All governments know a bad economic report card can bring them down.
Correct. Do you recognise them?
The mistakes of the Kane and Kearney years gave Jeff Kennett a landslide victory in 1992. Since then, budgets have tended to generous surpluses.
Victoria's been in an unusual sweet spot. It's been running like a resource state, but it doesn't really have the resources. It's not WA, it doesn't have the iron ore pumping out at high prices, but it's been riding on the back of that by providing the services to the resources state.
However, Victoria has a big debt, and it's getting bigger.
Is the debt an issue, a problem? Right now, no, but the economy as strong as it is, the debt is large, but it's not uncomfortably large. We're not back to the 1980s. However, if the underlying economy starts to falter, then the debt could become an issue.
This year, the government put more money back into health and education, but as the population boom continues, it'll be forced to spend more on infrastructure. A report by the Commonwealth Bank has ranked Victoria's economy as neither the strongest of any state, as the government says, or the second worst economy in Australia, as the opposition has said.
Victoria basically is in the middle of the state and territory, so it's not shooting the lights out, but it's not in the cellar with New South Wales and Queensland. Overall, Victoria's performance, you'd have to say, is pretty much okay, good but not great.
The biggest single factor affecting the Victorian economy has been the state's booming population growth, which means the construction industry is at record levels.
The standout areas in terms of the Victorian economy is in the housing sector. Dwelling starts in the June quarter at record highs, well above longer-term averages. Some of the other indicators like retail spending, unemployment and the like, Victoria is probably more middle of the pack rather than up the top.
But population growth is slowing and the influx of international students is waning, first because of international perceptions and now because of the strong Australian dollar.
If you do see a slowdown in terms of the housing sector, less activity there, say businesses are not investing in the same way, you may need to see the state government come through with additional spending measures to be able to keep the economy motoring along.
500.
The polls show Victorians are also worried about increasing taxes and charges such as stamp duty and payroll tax. The latest budget figures show the state coffers reaping more than ever from stamp duty, and for households, electricity and water costs continue to rise. 20 years ago, Jeff Kennett inherited a state debt of $33 billion. He sold the state's biggest utilities to balance the budget. The Victorian government of 2011 will have to find new ways to pay off the rising debt.
The next government is going to have to face a much more rigid, a much more challenging budget environment than this current government. And they really have to be thinking about that in a way that, you know, how do they do it? To just say that Victoria is in great shape, that it's got a AAA rating is safe, is really looking backwards rather than looking forwards, because there are some big issues, serious issues in terms of the structure of the budget going forward.